Back to Mr. Gift's Tumblers. Today we're going to do alcohol inks. The cup will be a duty, honor, courage for Back to Blue. Prep your cup with 91% alcohol. Alcohol inks are from Amazon. Just some blue and white to go on top of it. And a black. So first I just sanded the cup lightly, treated it with the alcohol ink, and now I'm just putting my first layer of epoxy on it. You want to have a smooth surface, so I'm trying to smooth out all that epoxy. You can do the method where you just dip your fingers into the cup and put the epoxy on, or you can pour it on like I did. Doesn't really matter. You just need a pretty thin layer, not a thick layer of epoxy. Just make sure you get everything covered. So you see I'm looking and rubbing, trying to get all the cup covered. That curve always will not want to be covered. I feel like I didn't have all the coverage I wanted, so I'm going to add a little bit more epoxy to the parts where I'm not satisfied with the coverage. Don't worry about the bubbles at this point. Just get the cup covered. Now it's time to drip on your colors. Doesn't matter where you go, the more bubbles, the more alcohol ink you put on, the more coverage you're going to have. Now I'm using the black cup as is. I did not primer paint it. I just bought the black cup from Walmart, the Ozarka Trail brand, and just lightly sanded it. And I'm using the black background because I want a more bolder blue and black to come up, and I want the black in the background. It's up to you what your base of color of cup will be. So once you get all the drops that you want of the alcohol ink, I'm going to come back in and try to find those drops and put white on top. It's kind of hard to see. You see the blue and black drops did blend into the cup, so a little hard to see, but try your best, and you can always do this around 2. The alcohol inks are messy. They are running off of the cup, so make sure your surface is protected. So now I'm coming in with the heat to try to move the epoxy to make it spread a little bit different and also pop any bubbles. Be careful with overheating your epoxy. Having it too close for too long, you'll overheat your epoxy and you'll start getting fish eyes. Be careful with that. As you see, once the epoxy starts heating up, it will move more. You can also do this with your finger or turning the cup upside down. I just don't have a turner where I can turn it upside down. There's some spots I didn't like, so I am adding some more alcohol ink. It's just all by eye, what your eye likes. This will turn for 4 to 6 hours, and then you come back in and put a layer of epoxy on it to seal it in. This is just in case there's some excess alcohol still on the cup. You want to just make sure that's all sealed in before you put any glitter or decals on the cup. That was a real thin layer of epoxy, like I said, just to seal it up. Now you want to hit it with the heat, just to pop any bubbles, smooth it out. Watch it in the light to see if you have any spots that are lower. Use your finger with a glove on and smooth out those areas. It's kind of tricky if it's nighttime or you don't have good lighting, but you can use a flashlight and try to get the spots that you see are lower. When you're heating, don't put it real close like I did when I was doing the alcohol ink. Just give it enough heat to pop the bubbles, and as you see, I'm trying to smooth out any of the areas that I see that don't have that much epoxy on it. Alright, now the decals are on, and we need to put on 1 to 2 coats. I usually do 2. Sometimes I have to do more because of the way it feels. I just learned that if you put alcohol, you wet down your area with splits of water or alcohol, try to control the dust. You won't have to put so many layers, but at least want to put 1 to 2. If it's only 1, make sure it's a good flood coat, a lot of good amount of epoxy. If it's 2, do a thinner layer and then a flood coat. Just trying to protect those decals. So same process, put the epoxy on, smooth it out, and look for any areas that are low. You can have it spin a while and then come back and look as well. Really watch that curve. The epoxy likes to not be on the curve, the bottom and the top. Really watch those areas. Once again, hit it with some heat. Trying to get all the bubbles out and to smooth it out. Don't hit it with too much heat. Just maybe 1 or 2 rounds around, unless you see it needs more. You can also use your finger. Just know every time you use your finger, you are introducing air. And as you saw in the beginning, here's the final cup. You want to let it cure for at least 6 hours before you take that off the turner and let it set more. Here's the final cup. But peace, love, and back to blue in a sunflower. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.